Hello, I'm your host Jim McLean. Welcome back to another episode of the Banterflix Movie Review Show. Let's see what we'll be talking about tonight. We'll be reviewing Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which has risen from its tomb and is out in cinemas now. I'll be speaking with Rosie Hickey from the Strand Cinema in Belfast about their 90th anniversary celebrations. We'll see if our pick of the stream, Something Very Bad is Going to Happen, is worth checking out on Netflix. And we'll wrap up as we chat about James Gunn's creature feature Slither, which is being re-released and heading back to the big screen. So that's what we've lined up for you this week. Joining me in the studio here in Belfast is the lovely Dr. Nicole Hamilton.
Hello.
And Anita Jurkovic.
Hello.
I have my horror-loving girls this week with me in the show. How pretentious does that sound? We have a horror-heavy show this week. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we're going to have to wait and see. But before we get into discussing this week's movies, let's talk about some movie news.
I've waited such a long time for this.
Yes, she has.
You put the line in the coconut, you take 'em bold up. Put the line in the coconut, you take 'em bold up. Blood line in the coconut, you take 'em bold up. Put the line in the coconut, then you feel better. Put the line in the coconut, you take 'em both together. Put the line in the coconut, then you feel better. Put the line in the coconut, you take 'em bold up. Put the line in the coconut, and call me in the morning.
So that's a look at the teaser for Practical Magic 2, the sequel to a legacy sequel of sorts to a film out many years ago. Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock are back in the leading roles with witchy vibes once again. I'm going to assume that both of you, and I know again that could be wrong, and I'll come to you first, Anita, that you're fans of the first film and you might be the target audience and the reason why we're getting a sequel so many years after the original.
Your assumptions are right, Jim. I am a huge fan of practical magic. Anything witchy vibes. I haven't yet watched the trailer because I needed to really focus. I can't just watch it. I need to be immersed in it.
It needs to be a moment.
It needs to be a moment, but I saw a little pictures and clips on social media, so Lee Pace is in it, so I'm definitely going to watch it.
So you're sold based on that. You don't care about Sandra or
I
Nicole.
I do, but it's kind of there for me to, has plus points when I see Lee Pace in a movie. Yeah.
Okay, I get you. I'm with you. Nicole, what about yourself? Are you excited by this?
I am. I still do love the first one. I loved it basically my whole life. Massive Nicole Kidman fan. So anything she's in, I will watch to a point. She's done some stinkers. But
Everybody needs to pay the bills.
and she pays them and then some. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm a little bit trepidatious as I usually am. I feel like just because I feel like the legacy sequel thing, a little bit played out. I know that there's a book series that I think this sequel is based on, because I'm pretty sure that they have aged down the daughters to work in that storyline. I haven't read them, so I don't know if they're good or if this will be like a faithful adaptation, but hopefully it suggests that there's like an actual direction to go in rather than just bring back popular movie for fun.
Nostalgia, I guess that is the thing, we need a reason now to go beyond popcorn buckets, to go to the cinema. And I guess these kind of IPs, which I hate using that phrase, are a way to get bums on seats and out to your local multiplex, and that is, in the world we are, that's always a good thing. But yes, okay. So you're nervously excited, as are you, Nicole. And
yes.
we're talking about nostalgia, and I guess that is a nice little segue into something here locally, because the Strand Cinema, I know it's currently closed, but it is celebrating its 90th anniversary. It was actually meant to celebrate earlier in December, but now for various reasons, there's an event happened earlier this week at Stormont, and I got a chance to speak with Rosie Hickey from the Strand about their celebrations. As we patiently await the grand old dame of East Belfast's reopening later this year, we have a chance now to reflect on the Strand's 90th anniversary, and she's looking fab. Definitely getting a bit of a facelift in 2026. To celebrate this, there's a launch of a book, Strands of Our Picture House Past, along with a short movie, a short that's about the history of the Strand. Can you tell us a little bit about both of those and what's happening tonight at Stormont?
Yes, so we're delighted to be celebrating the Strand's 90th birthday, albeit a wee bit late. We turned 90 in December, but we have gathered here tonight, as you say, to launch Strands of Our Picture House Past, which I'm proud to hold in my hands here. And this publication, it's been quite a long time in the making. It has a range of essays from academics, from projectionists, from costume historians, and they're all given their unique perspective on a different strand of cinema going over the years. But we also have family snaps, much cherished family snaps of I don't know if you can see here, snaps of usherettes on the roof of the Strand or projectionists in the box of the Ritz. And they're the kind of pictures that have been very rarely seen. And I'm really proud that we brought them together in this publication. In terms of the film it's a short documentary. It's called The Strand at 90. And it is made by award-winning local filmmaker Ross McLean. He has spent the last few months painstakingly stitching together contemporary interviews, archive footage, beautiful new narration by Marie Jones. And he's basically through the power of film telling the kind of fascinating, rich, multifaceted history of the Strand.
Coming back to the book, as someone who, as a person who's curated and edited this, can you talk me through and for our viewers, how much of a challenge? There's some photos in there and some essays you've mentioned. I think it's photos in particular you're particularly proud of. But talk me through just some of the challenges of bringing those and getting those and putting them together into this book.
What I find personally quite powerful about this book is that some of the stories here, some of the quotes here, are actually from people who have since passed away. And I feel it has been a real honor to be able to collect those memories and to be able to get them down on paper. And my hope is that people today in 2026, they'll be able to read the memories of Belle, of Leonard, and see the photographs of Perry, people who have all since passed away, and be able to kind of relate to them and to kind of absorb their stories. And for me, that's the power of history and oral history, being able to kind of hear these people's words and stories even after they've passed. But it really has been a labor of love. And when you look, I have personally gone through every single page, and I don't want to look at it anymore because I'm worried I'm going to see a typo or but it's been a real labor of love. And of course with books, you can't, a lot of people, copy and paste books from the internet, but you have to go to all your sources. You have to dot all your I's, cross all your T's. And one of the things I'm proud of is that everybody who has contributed images, stories, essays, they're all going to get a copy of this book, whether tonight or I'll post it out later. So yes, it's a lovely thing to be part of, but it's not just my project. It's very much a communal effort.
Rosie, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you're very busy. Enjoy this evening. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic event. And as I say, for the umpteenth time, we cannot wait for the Strand's reopening later this year.
Me neither. Thank you, Jim.
So that's my interview with Rosie Hickey about the Strand's 90th anniversary celebration. Keep an eye out on their socials if you want to get a hold of that book and see where you can watch that short movie. And now we're going to move on to this week's big release.
Can I get 2 slices of pizza?
No.
Of course, honey.
No, you never ever finish 2.
Hello?
Mr. and Mrs. Cannon. I'm
I'm Deputy Chief at the U.S. Embassy. Your daughter Katie has been found. She's alive.
It's very important you fully prepare yourselves for what you're about to see. No sudden moves. No loud noises.
Hey, Butterfly. It's Mom and Dad.
Yeah, we are here.
So that's a look at the trailer for Lee Cronin's The Mummy. To give its full title, this latest reimagining as it awakens from its tomb. It's back on the multiplex. Lee Cronin previously did Evil Dead Rises, the latest installment. I know we're going to get further installments, and we should have mentioned in our movie news we've just had the first teaser for the next installment in the Evil Dead franchise. He's not directing, but he is producing. But here he is very much going full John Carpenter with Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So I guess that means that people will not get confused when Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz don't show up, because I know there's been a lot of talk about that in the social media marketing, that people need to be reminded Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are not in this adaptation. So we've seen the trailer, Exorcist vibes with a bit of mummy bandaging. Nicole, what do you think? I
enjoyed my time with it. I do wish it was a little bit shorter than it was. I think it drags things out. For the movie that we get, it drags things out much more than it needed to. But overall, I would say I enjoyed it. It did very much feel like an Evil Dead movie to me, rather than the Mummy movie. I feel like apart from setting it partially in Egypt and having a couple of Egyptian characters and like references to hieroglyphics and a few ancient Egyptian gods, that's kind of all there really was that was very Egyptian about it to me. I feel like you could have placed it anywhere, and in fact they did, because part of it's set in New Mexico, and it wouldn't necessarily have changed the movie. So I went into it, I actually hadn't seen any trailers really. I didn't go into it with very many expectations apart from for it to be a mummy movie, and came out sort of going, that was a deadite. Yeah, that was a deadite. That wasn't a mummy. And as much as I still enjoyed my time with it, and I thought the gore was crazy at some points, I was a little bit dissatisfied. And I also really, really, really need Lee Cronin to give up the split diopter shots. Brian De Palma is crying over too many split diopter shots, and if he is crying over that, you have gone too far, and you need to stop.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way on that front. I was really disappointed by this, I have to admit. Here we get something very little to do with the actual mummy. It felt more like an Exorcist movie, a well-made Exorcist movie. It sits above the likes of the standard Conjuring fodder. It sits to me with, like, we've even seen Sam Raimi attempt his version of the Exorcist. But it's nasty, it's gory. I completely agree, Nicole. It's too long. It's 2 hours, 12 minutes, should be 90 minutes. I'm a 43-year-old man. This did not need to test my bladder. But for all its gore, for all its shock value, I find myself at the end bored. And it's the sense that, and I'm saying that as someone who loves Jack Reynor, and even more so just thinks Leah Costa, purely based on her performance in Victoria many, many years ago, is just cool. She's just the epitome of cool for me. All the ingredients were there. It just didn't serve up anything for me. Now, Anita, you had a very different response. Of the three of us, I think you had a very vivid response to this movie.
I had a physical response to that film. It made me sick. I'm sorry for everyone. I was like,
well, don't say sorry, because Lee Cronin, if he's watching, will be delighted. I guess.
I hope that was his intention. I don't know. It just overcame me. I was the one particular scene with the teeth. I was like, yeah. I think it was really Cronenbergish, and the only reason why I kind of compare with Cronenberg is the body horror, what David Cronenberg is famous for.
We will be talking about David Cronenberg, I feel, in a film later.
Yeah. And there was one other movie that made me physically ill, and it was a Cronenberg movie.
Okay.
Do you want to guess which one?
We'll not guess. I think what we'll do, we'll keep it in anticipation.
Okay.
And at the very end of the show, I think we will reveal.
Which one?
I have my predictions, but we'll have to
Okay.
wait and see. But look, I think it's a mixed response. I think I'm the most negative towards the film. And I think it's because I went in with a little bit of expectation. I liked the director. I thought he could do something clever. And we've seen these kind of retooling of the old Hollywood classic horror movies. We've had The Wolfman, we had The Invisible Man, which I really liked because I think it brought a lot of modern post-Me Too context. Here, I don't know. Hey,
It is a little bit of a meh. I was like, maybe it can become a cult classic in the future.
well, we'll have to wait and see. I don't know, but I think, a mixed response from us here in the studio. So that's something that's out in cinemas now. You can choose to go see it if you so wish. Let's move on to this week's Pick of the Streams.
My family is gonna love you.
This is insane.
I'm so honored that you two chose to get married here. It is up to you now to protect the soul in front of you.
So we've got creepy vibes here. The producers, the Duffer Brothers, of course, from the Stranger Things, and the creator is Healy Jazed Boston for this. So this is on Netflix now. I think there's 8 episodes in total. We've asked you to watch first two episodes. It's going to be interesting to see if you've went beyond that. I know I have. I've went as far as 4. I'm still a bit mixed about this. It's a slow burn for me, but there's a lot of positives. I like the score, I like the style. We have the central actress, I've got her name in front of me here, is Camilla Moroni. Hopefully I'm getting that right, I might be not. But intrigued by it. I'm willing to go with it. I don't love it. There's other films and other series we've seen do this kind of thing. I think slightly better. But I'll start with you this time, Anita. What did you think of Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen?
I thought it was really good. The actress is really really great. The close-ups of the faces, you know, it's always dark. It's something. It's just a weird behavior. So you are intrigued. What is it? Is it just a weird? What did I say? Weird white suburban American family.
And there's quite a few of those.
Yeah, you know, like who are rich and have like their own cultish ways of living, or is it something paranormal?
Well, it alludes. I think it's that sense that probably not everything will be revealed until the very end.
Yeah.
In the same sense, we had like the 3rd season of True Detective. It kind of hinted at what was going on, what was not going on. And it finally revealed its hand, and I guess that's going to be the thing that's going to carry me over to the finishing line, whether or not I enjoy that experience. Because I did find the first 2 episodes particularly are slow. It's chess pieces being put into place. There's interesting things about what's one of the worst things that could happen. You know, the wedding dress going missing. That happens. That's not too much of a spoiler there. I've seen as far as 4. For me, though, the 4th episode is when my interest suddenly went, okay, I'm going to actually, I want to sit down and watch this. Nicole, what about you?
The first episode, it took a little bit to hook me in. I'm not sure why. I just sort of couldn't quite get a grasp on what was going on, and obviously still don't have any idea what's going on. But as I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but going from the first into the second, something just clicked with me, and I've just ended up really enjoying the episodes that I've watched. I haven't watched any more because I'm in the thick of Resident Evil game playing, and I could only allow 2 hours of my day for something else. But really, really enjoying it so far. I feel like there's a real like sense of foreboding in it, which is the thing that's keeping me going. I think really is just what is going on. Why is this family so strange? Like each character, I feel like has their own unique weirdness going on that I find really interesting and enjoyable. And not to say that it's as good as these shows yet anyway, but it is kind of reminiscent for me of like Mike Flanagan's TV shows a little bit, something like even Knives Out, like just the strange family, big house, mystery vibe, very up my street. So I hope I'm going to really enjoy the rest of the series as well.
So you've kind of already answered my next question, and I'll ask you as well, Anita. I've watched 4, and I think I'm going to see it through to the end. Whether my lovely wife will sit through those experiences, I don't know. I think her exact phrase was at one point, "This is like paint drying." But that aside, I think it has suddenly now, from episode 4, has piqued my interest, so I think I will see it across. You've already alluded to the fact, Nicole, that you will be watching it through to the end. Anita, how many episodes so far have you watched, and are you committed to seeing it through to the finale?
Yes, I just finished episode 3. I'm definitely gonna want to watch it through because I really want to know if is it again just a weird family, but I think there's something more.
Anita, every family's weird. We all have our
But
weird.
there's some specific, those American. I don't know. It's like you say, it's in a lot of movies. You know, like Get Out or what's the other one? Ready or Not.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just a weird vibe of the family. I don't know.
Anita, I just think you need to go to Tyrone and see someone from there. I mean, there's
true.
definitely some weird and wonderful families there. But look, on that note, so again, I think we are slightly positive about that. So we're going to move on and talk about something very different. We're going to look at James Gunn's Slither, which is back in cinemas and getting a lovely new 4K re-release to celebrate its 20th anniversary, which does make me feel old. Before we chat about the film, let's have a look at the trailer. Okay, so that's a look at the trailer for Slither. James Gunn, who is now Mr. DC, is currently tackling the next installment in the Superman franchise, is deciding who I imagine will be the next Batman, etc. Wonder Woman. But before all that, he was the kind of schlocky horror guy. And here was a film I vividly remember going to see in the cinema and having a bit of a ball, because it's icky, it's nasty. I know you mentioned earlier on David Cronenberg, Anita. There's definite nods to Cronenberg's Shivers. We get a bit of Night of the Creeps, which is an 80s schlockfest for me that I do love. But yeah, it's icky, it's nasty, it's horrible. It's got a lot of the kind of familiar cast we come to expect now from James Gunn. It's got Nathan Fillion. What's not? Nathan Fillion actually, and Elizabeth Banks. What could possibly go wrong? So, Anita, had you watched this before we asked you to watch it for this week's show, and did you enjoy the experience?
Of course, I'm a James Gunn fan before James Gunn became, like you say, Mr. DC. His slasher movies, when he just started off as a director, you know, then he was doing Scooby-Doo. I mean, I love Scooby-Doo. And yeah, I'm excited by his career. I mean, his career is like skyrocketing after Guardians of the Galaxy. So from indie slasher director to multi-million movies,
he's done okay.
I think he's settled for life, but no, Slither's one of my favorites, like slasher body horrors as well. Yeah, and like you say, the cast, you know, nothing without Michael Rooker, who was Yondu in Guardians. So I love that he still works with people that he started off in the beginning of his career. And
Michael Rooker gets a pretty front and center in this role. I think I just love it because there's that sense of fun, there's a sense of comedy, which I do love. And comedy and horror are always difficult bedfellows. But it's a sense, some stuff is done. Obviously, there is CGI, and some CGI has dated. But there's also a lot of stuff done practically there. I know it's getting some limited re-release on the big screen. I believe it's screening possibly at the Odeon and Cineworld here in Belfast, maybe further afield, might be easier to find out. I would recommend seeking out. I know you can pick it up on the Blu-ray with this new 4K re-release. But Nicole, what about you? You've got a face of someone that looks like you're going to try and make me cry.
I hate James Gunn.
No.
I have a few enemies in life, and he is one of them.
Now, do you want to say why?
His movies have never really done anything for me. I'm not a Guardians fan. I think Slither was actually the first James Gunn movie that I ever saw. when I was maybe 14 or 15. I thought it was
That
okay.
makes me feel old.
I still don't hate it. I think it's fine. There's definitely some charm to it. I think watching it from a 2026 perspective does make it feel like nearly a little bit easier to digest, because it's like, the mid-2000s, what a fun time that was. I just miss
movies,
it.
That era, yeah, like silly movies.
Yeah, it's the silliness, but there's something about James Gunn's humour that does not gel with me at all. I just can't. The only thing that I like is Scooby-Doo. I hated the Suicide Squad. So it just, me and James Gunn are never going to be friends, and he has to just be okay with that, I think.
Anita, I know you're sitting right beside
I'm
Nicole.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just the two sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's an intriguing point. I mean, hopefully violence will not ensue. I mean, was there anything you would say to Nicole in response, kind of the fact that you're like me, I am a fan of James Gunn.
I'm not going to defend him like to the death, but like I'm okay with him. He's like, James Gunn is one of those, like king of the nerds, just like just Sweden, and what can you do? And it was just a weird humor back then. Don't know if it's going to translate now. I think he grew, in his career and as a writer as well.
Now, Anita,
okay.
There will be thousands of people watching this right now who will be waiting on tenterhooks to know. So my prediction was Videodrome. I believe, Nicole, yours was The Fly. Can you now tell us which Cronenberg film was the only other film in the history of cinema that made you sick?
Physically. And drum roll, it's The Fly.
Yes.
Wow.
I feel like that was the obvious choice.
It is the obvious choice, and it's again, it was just one particular scene that I could not fathom. I thought I have a really strong stomach, and I watch a lot of horror movies, but that was this one particular scene in The Fly that made me sick.
So you've done it twice, so we wait for the inevitable third when we'll have you back on to the show to talk about that. Nicole, we are going to wrap up, but have you ever had such a physical response in the cinema?
I don't think so. I just tend to look away when things horrify me. So.
Yeah, I would be the same. I've cried in the cinema, I've laughed in the cinema, but I've never been sick in the cinema. Yet. That's how we'll finish
give it
that.
time.
Yet. Who knows what 2026 and 2027 further field holds. But look, that is us out of time. So all that's left for me to do now is thank my two guests here in the studio. So thank you very much, Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anita.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks very much as well to Rosie Hickey from the Strand. And thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another episode. But for now, until then, goodbye.